Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the HD pregame show. Now I know I'm not dressed in my usual attire, I just thought the tie was just a little bit constricting, so we're going to let loose and be a little bit more casual today. Anyways, this is the HDH round of 8, and we do have WhiteRa versus Tasteless. The first map is Metalopolis, loser chooses the next map. This is a Protoss versus Random. Tasteless is playing as Random, but without further ado, we are going to go ahead and move on to this game. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out our sponsor yet, it is iRip. Go to Google, type in iRip, one word, just IRIP, and make sure to support the application that makes this entire event possible.
Hello everyone, this is H to the Husky here with my good friend HD. How are you doing, HD?
Doing good, Husky. We're actually here to broadcast a live match between Tasteless and WhiteRa. This is the round of 8 HDH Invitational.
Yes, that is indeed correct. The round of 8, whoever advances here goes to the round of 4 and has a higher chance of winning that new prize pool, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But really quickly, spawning here on Metalopolis on the right side is going to be Tasteless, and in the top center is going to be WhiteRa. It is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss, and a couple of things I want to mention as this matchup does get underway. Number one, go check out our sponsor. They are the ones who threw down the prize pool for this tournament. They are the ones who make stuff like this possible. Just go to Google and type in the 4 letters that spell out iRip. See if it's something you can use. It does directly help tournaments like this, and really it's helping esports just by going out there and checking out the sponsor. And one more thing I do want to mention is the new prize pool for this tournament. It has been bumped up by $1,000, and so that is absolutely out of control awesome. And so first place, actually I have it written down here, I'll have to talk about it in the next game, but basically we split it up to where it's $500 for first place, and then we split the rest up for second and third. So really unfortunate if you get fourth place, but very fortunate if you are going to get, first, second, or third. So the prize pool is out of this world. I believe now it is the highest prize pool out of any StarCraft tournament to date. So that is pretty darn exciting.
That is right. iRip has definitely set this scene up and has definitely got StarCraft 2 across the board. It's something that is definitely going to be big in the West as long as you guys show your support to the sponsor, so that more sponsors will definitely come out and check out our events. So for here, we do have Tasteless versus WhiteRa, which is a Protoss versus Protoss matchup because Tasteless has actually spawned as Protoss. Keep in mind that he is playing Random. And so, I'm not sure, WhiteRa has already seen that Tasteless is spawning here as Protoss. Looks like Tasteless is going to throw down a quick gate after, a quick cyber core after the gate. Already has gas mining as well. On the terms of WhiteRa also throwing down his cybernetics core just a tad bit later. So both players looking like they're going for the same exact build here. And I'm not too familiar with the Protoss versus Protoss matchup. I am a Zerg player myself, but I do know that one option for Protoss players is to go for the most common option is actually to go for 2-gate Robo, in my opinion. And so you can actually get out those Immortals or the Colossus, which are very, very powerful units in the Protoss versus Protoss matchup. We'll just have to wait and see what these two players decide to go, as actually WhiteRa is by far the favored player to win in this set of series, because even though he's the oldest player in this tournament, he's also one of the most well-known, and Tasteless, on the other hand, while he is a good player himself, most players consider him not as the same caliber as WhiteRa.
This is exactly where we're going to see the build start to diversify a little bit. WhiteRa is actually doing a proxy pylon down here by this little statue outside of Tasteless's base, and Tasteless is actually getting his Robo Bay, while WhiteRa is actually making his Stalker first, and so he is going to use that Stalker to clean up this probe right now, and so that's exactly why he spawned it, and they should both be getting their second gateway here fairly soon. Kind of curious to see if Tasteless can make this Robo Bay build work, as he is chrono boosting the cybernet, or the warp gate technology right now is on the way, and really curious to see if WhiteRa can utilize this proxy pylon. We've seen WhiteRa use this basically proxy buildings a lot. He's really known for that, especially in StarCraft 2, and he's even being pretty aggressive here with this Stalker, and we'll see if he can make anything happen here, though. He's just going to check out this Xel'Naga Watchtower, see if there's anything on the way, and there is an observer going to be on the way right now, and interestingly enough, it doesn't look like like Tasteless is going to be chrono boosting that Observer. Usually you want to get that out as quickly as you can, but he's actually saving his chrono boost for the Warp Gate technology right now. So like HD was saying, 2 gateways, very, very common here, but it actually looks like WhiteRa is going to do a 4 gateway timing attack here, so he is going to be skipping the Robo Bay completely, and he is going to do sort of an all-in move here where he's going to try and end it right away. Are the Immortals going to be enough to handle it? We're going to have to wait and see, but that would really explain this proxy pylon. Tasteless is really going to have to micro like crazy.
Yeah, WhiteRa here opting to go for a 4-gate push here, which is definitely a different build from the 2-gate Robo Bay that Tasteless is obviously preferring right here. 4-gate push is extremely powerful, especially with a proxy pylon. You can warp in a lot of units. WhiteRa actually throwing down a second proxy pylon as well, and this entire push is going to comprise of sentries, stalkers, and maybe even some zealots as well, as WhiteRa is looking to end this game extremely early. I'm not sure how difficult it is to transition in Protoss versus Protoss out of 4-gate should it fail. So WhiteRa here, I'm going to assume, is going to try to end this as quickly as he can. Tasteless, however, does have an Immortal, which is pretty darn powerful versus Stalkers. So if WhiteRa knows what's good for him, he should be getting, yeah, he's getting 4 Zealots out right now. He's going to charge those up the ramp first. And I think Tasteless here is going to be in a lot of trouble, as Tasteless is getting now just his 3rd gateway going down. Lots of force fields going down, and Tasteless trying to hold on. There's a lot of forces. WhiteRa probably going to be warping in 4 more units as soon as the gateway cooldown comes off. And the sentries here going to work on Tasteless, as they are going to actually whittle down the Immortal, force him to fall back just a little bit, force field preventing the Zealots from coming up the ramp. And Tasteless here, I think he's going to be able to hold on. He's just going to have to micro his Immortals just a little bit better.
The micro on the Immortals is very crucial right now because they aren't as effective against those Zealots as they are against the Stalkers, like you were saying before. And so far, Tasteless in okay shape, but here come more Zealots to reinforce it. Mass Immortal is not what you want right now. What you really need is the Zealots to distract your opponent's Zealots, and then you use the Immortals to kind of shoot down those Zealots. But probes are going down right now. This is absolutely really, really bad for Tasteless, and his Immortals are getting lower and lower on HP with more reinforcements on the way. Surprisingly, he's actually opting to get more sentries here, but it looks like Tasteless misclicked those Zealots warping in a little bit, but he is going to be able to push this back here with these last couple of Immortals. He just needs to be very, very careful because the 4 warp gates here that WhiteRa has right now could reinforce this here very soon, but Tasteless is in okay shape right now. He just needs to be very careful and start getting more Zealots to protect those Immortals.
If we look at the units tab right now, actually WhiteRa has 28 probes over Tasteless. Tasteless only at 19 probes. So Tasteless has taken a huge hit to his economy, obviously not producing more probes during this entire time, also losing several probes to the last couple of battles. So WhiteRa can continue to warp in more units from his 4-gate build, and I'm not sure if Tasteless is going to be able to keep up in terms of unit count because he's down in the economy. He just simply doesn't have enough income to keep up with WhiteRa. WhiteRa is continuing to keep up the pressure on Tasteless, as he's really done a great job with these Immortals, keeping them alive. Look at this one right here, only 26 HP, as the sentries are actually going to chase after that Immortal, and this one is almost going down as well. So Tasteless barely holding on for dear life as 1 Immortal drops, and now I think Tasteless might be in heaps of trouble, really not keeping up with his economy. Look at this Nexus at max energy, never bothering to use that chrono boost, and he's actually throwing down a Twilight Council, perhaps trying to save face by maybe going for attempting to go for Dark Templar or something, because at this situation he's really far behind and he needs some kind of a miracle move to get back in this game. So maybe he's thinking about going Dark Templars, because really researching Charge or the Blink is just not going to save him right now, losing more probes, 10 to 28 right now.
There's the GG, by the way, but that was an absolutely beautiful move there. Just so you guys know, what WhiteRa did is when he was doing one of his second attacks, he actually ran his Zealots over there, killed a couple of probes, which just kind of snowball effect into Tasteless not being able to keep up, especially since he had 3 gateways and then the 1 Robo Bay instead of the 4 gateways, which producing from a Robo Bay is considerably more expensive than producing from an additional gateway, and it eventually caught up with him. So that is game number 1. It does go into WhiteRa's hands, and so we are going to go into game number 2. Whichever map it is on is going to be the map that Tasteless chose. So here we go, man.
All right, so I'm